Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe, we're gonna go over the Atomos Incarnon. This is, by default, a beam weapon. Not insanely strong, but a pretty good beam weapon overall that shoots a beam of fire. Once you upgrade it with Incarnon, it gets a big damage boost, it gets a big Incarnon change as well, and all in all, you can get a huge crit boost as well. So it's a great weapon. I'll just quickly show off how it works on regular enemies. Just, you know, a quick little murder spree, right? These are the enemies. You shoot their headshot to charge Incarnon, and it is a beam weapon, so it does spread around. And of course, it has good enough status as well. Once I start getting some kills, some pop-offs, you know, charges up the gun, get some of those galvanized shot hits. Whew, beautiful, right? So it is a pretty cool weapon overall. That's the base Incarnon shooting for Atomo, or like base weapon. And then you make it Incarnon. And it turns into that. By the way, the Atomos Incarnon, it is a Duviri Paradox Steel Path, the Circuit Incarnon weapon. So keep that in mind. It's not one of the Zariman ones. Once you actually make it Incarnon, it turns into an explosive. And I actually don't love the explosive mode because it seems like it does good damage. It just doesn't do enough damage, and Blast still sucks right now. But remember, Warframe folk, I have a corrosive like Blast on it. It's really bad. Remember, Warframe folk, they are updating statuses to get a big upgrade. So I'm hoping Blast will be better. That being said, I usually don't care too aggressively what statuses I have on my weapons. So overall, Atomos Incarnon, very good. Similar to Torrid in the sense that they're both beam weapons, but the Torrid Incarnon turns it into the beam weapon, and the Atomos base is the beam weapon. So let's go look over what I decided to choose. Evolution 1, nothing that shows up, right? Because it's Evolution 1. You fire it as a grenade. Evolution 2, this one is very niche. It increases damage, and then on shield break, it increases damage again. So it's actually good to get your shield broken once in a while with this weapon. Or you can swap it over to increase damage by 24, and then with max energy max over 700, increase crit damage multiplier by 1. That one is better for damage for sure, if you can manage to get your energy over 700. This one's more niche, so I would only pick it if you're specifically choosing to use high energy Warframes. That's why I went with the shield break one. It's more generic and I can use it with more Warframes. But of course this one seems to be stronger overall because it does not have a really high crit multiplier, okay? The Atomos is a strong weapon. It's not the godliest, but that being said, it is still strong. On the second one, we have +7 range. That's what I chose to use because I want more range on my beam. That's up to you. You have increased ammo capacity to 560. This one's also really good, especially when you use up a lot of ammo very quickly with a lot of attack speed. Or you have on reload from empty, increase magazine capacity by 5, stacks up to 7 times. This one, straight up, just choose whichever you prefer. I just like long range, so I chose long range. Maybe you want more capacity? Yeah, just go with whatever you feel like. Who really cares? These are all just more quality of life and ease of use, ease of like access type things. So good. And then last but not least, we have the strong one. You have increased status chance by 20%. So you can make this thing an insane status primer if you so choose. You have increased crit chance by 19%. So you can actually make this thing a hard hitting crit weapon, not the hardest hitting crit weapon, of course, because crit multiplier is kind of low, but it'll still be a hard hitting strong weapon. Or you can choose a hybrid of crit and status if you're like, nah, maybe I just want good crit and like better status. So it's up to you. I love crit like most do, so I always go with crit. It's important to remember once it goes into its Incarnon form, the crit multiplier does go up a ton, so not bad. By default, its impact damage and then radial attack is blast, so keep that in mind. Okay, not bad, not bad. The Atomos chains off to a handful of targets. I can't remember if it says how many specifically, but it is a chaining weapon, like with most. Good weapon. Now, let's take a look at my build. As always, build however you so choose. I don't care too aggressively about elements sometimes, so I just like to use stuff. I have heat corrosive on by default, just so I can eat through some armor, deal some damage with heat, and kind of double dip that armor destruction with the heat and corrosive. So that's the setup I have now. I think it'll technically get a little bit better with this next armor update status change coming up. Either way, very good, very good. That's my fire rate, everything pretty fast. See, the crit multiplier is 3.6 times with a 102% crit chance. So it does do a lot of damage as a beam. Might not be as good as a Torrid Incarnon, obviously, but the non-Incarnon form, once you have it upgraded and Incarnon boosted, it is actually really strong like that. So the Atomos before was a good early mid-game weapon, beam weapon. It wasn't great late game, but now with the new Incarnon upgrade, I'd say it's pretty good for late game if you so choose. Either way, it's a lot better now. Mwah, love it. Then you can look at Incarnon form. High amount of shots, good 21 charges, good enough fire rate. More importantly, the damage. Really high crit multiplier, okay? Really high crit chance. You have good impact, corrosive status. It doesn't do a ton. 700, okay, that's not insane. And then the radial attack is like 2800. Okay, like that's not bad. But you're gonna do a lot more with the beam, you know? Like the beam shoots off a lot faster. You'll get off a lot more damage. So it's a weird weapon. I feel like the explosive, it's still good to use, but it's more good to use to clear out some weaker enemies when they're stacked up. It's good to use if you're using an AoE Warframe, and it'll be better next update. Because again, like Blast is just kind of shitty. So that's the general stat setup I went with. I went with Galvanized Shot for some damage and some status. I'm going to start using Galvanized Shot more often. I almost never used it before for some reason. So that's fun. Either way, we have Galvanized Shot. We have Galvanized Diffusion. So multi-shot status and just damage in general. Good. I have Prime Target Cracker for more crit damage, of course. I have Jolt just for some electricity and status. If you throw in another Forma, you can swap that out for that like higher tier electricity one, of course. But I don't think there's any... Okay, yeah, you can swap it out for that, but I'm just like, not bothering with that right now. I have Lethal Torrent for fire rate and multi-shot. You can swap this off if you don't like it, you know. I by no means think it's mandatory. It's just how I like to build. You can throw on like some auger stuff. You can throw on one of the other nice boosted mods. Go with whatever you feel like, right? If you want radiation, you can throw on accelerated isotope. I think it's a pretty strong mod overall. I have Gunslinger on for even more fire rate. That's why I'm like, yeah, it might be a good idea to chuck on accelerated isotope. It could go over Gunslinger. It'll do like a little bit more damage overall with a little bit slower of a fire rate. But I also already have so much status on, so it's not like it's a huge increase. Either way, yeah. I have Jolt and Pistol Pestilence. Again, it's for corrosive. If you throw more Forma in, you can throw in the higher tier mods if you want just more damage, of course, but this is what I'm doing for now. A little too lazy. I have Creeping Bullseye for as much crit chance as possible. And then, of course, with the minus fire rate, like Lethal Torrent offsets enough, but I also wanted Gunslinger. Again, I don't take like builds too seriously. I don't fucking care about using the stupid ass faction mods because I don't care about min-maxing every little bit of damage. I like to just build to play the game for like every map, right? And this works well for me. So this is what I'm using for now. Let me know what you're using. Feel free to shout it out. Swap things out however you want. But again, if there was things I'd swap out, probably upgrade these two mods or swap out Gunslinger for another attack speed type mod, you know, accelerated isotope. Honestly, it's probably what I would go with. You could even throw on galvanized crosshairs, just probably not the best idea. So yeah, I have Cascadia Flare. On heat status effect, you get your damage boost. I just have that thrown there for damage, right? Throw on whatever else you want while overshields are active. Cascadia Overcharge, great if you're just doing that. You can always throw on Merciless for more reload speed, adds damage, a little less than Cascadia Flare, but I just threw on Cascadia Flare because this is a heat weapon by default, so I was like, yeah, might as well, right? might as well. So that's the build, and that's how the damage looks on base enemies. So if we whip this bad boy out again, just to show off, let's see the infested battle group, you know? I think it'll kill them a lot faster, because they're just fire, right? Yeah, they're just health. Infested always just burn. You gotta love it. They explode, they burn. It's like you're just lighting bugs on fire, right? Not too bad, not too bad. Reminder, we will have Warframe Twitch drops on for TennoCon 2024, July 20th. So, yeah, they should be on, like, community-wide. So, yeah, at least I think everyone will be able to get them, and you can get them watching everyone. If you want to see against some of these dudes, let's turn Incarnon mode, right? I don't think I'm going to kill him easily. I'm just going to blow him up. I don't know if it'll actually kill any of them, because they just have so much shield. Oh, that's funny as hell. And then they just, like, restore it. But the beam is a little more targeted, and then you can get the heat stacks up. So it actually makes it a little easier to kill them. No joke. It looks so funny to me. But yeah, as you can see, it does chain off to a couple other targets. I think the Atomos, is it just 2 other chain targets? No, it looks like it chains off to 3 other targets, so keep that in mind. 3 other targets, it looks like, will get hit by the Atomos chain by default. And from there, you just go like, wheat. You just go, yeet. And then everything's flying. Yeah, so that's the Atomos Incarnon. Let's go take it out to a Steel Path mission so you can see how it operates in a actual mission. The TLDR, believe it or not, it's a strong weapon. If you want to see just destruction, we would take it on over to a infested mission. But just for like some regular old Steel Path gameplay, I can just throw it on over. Oh my god, I can't click on anything. To avoid Mott. Just to fight some of the armored enemies. They'll be a bit stronger, harder to kill, right? Yep. Yeah, it's another beam weapon. Comparable to Torrid Incarnon, Tenant Cycrin, the Nucor, Kuva Nucor, right? All pretty good beam weapons, all recommended to try out and use.
Underestimate them.
We'll just, you know, we'll mess around here. We'll mess around here. I'll go hide here, so enemies spawn up. Oh, they're all spawning right there. I don't have any huge damage buffs. This is just raw Atomos Incarnon, right? So by default, you're gonna slay. Like, it kills everything. I have a lot of attack speed on it, maybe a little too much. So it does shoot everything very quickly. So it 100% to 0 in, I think, like 5 seconds or so. You gotta be careful. And since it does have corrosive, the enemies are really low armor by the time they die, so they do take a lot more damage. With the upcoming Warframe update, armor weapon update, statuses update, this is gonna get a huge boost as well, like I was saying before. So I can't wait. So in regular gameplay, works a lot better. You can blow up enemies somewhat easily, to be fair. Oh, really? I didn't land on that properly? Damn, feels bad. Sometimes you gotta just cry when you miss shield gates. You gotta remember to hit their headshots. I now have my Kuva Lich. I mean, you can still just, right? Still does good damage. Worse against the simulacrum enemies, but still does good damage. And you'll have no problem just upgrading it very quickly. The missions for it, nothing too hard. You just go like that, and you go along. Look at that. Oh my god. Like, look at that. Oh, you can just charge them. Lovely. So when you get a good amount of damage on the Atomos, you'll just start killing everything. Oh, sorry. Sorry, enemies. Didn't mean to sledge you in the face. I love the Atomos. I've actually just been using it a lot more lately, since I got it a while ago from Steel Path. The Circuit Duviri. So you check that out. Boom, boom, boom. Just shoot all around me. Let them know that I mean business. And they're all dead. See? I wouldn't really bother throwing on like a primed AoE fulmination type of deal. Or like fulmination. Honestly, wouldn't bother with AoE increase on it. You can if you want, of course. I just don't care enough to. Not my cup of tea. Charge up the Incarnon with headshots again, and then... yeah, that's the Atomos Incarnon. As you can see, the general destruction of it's good. You go from jumping around as a good heat corrosive beam weapon, well, for me, that destroys the armor, and then you Incarnon mode it to kill them if you want. The nice addition of heat and corrosive means that they get absolutely blasted, though. I like the beam weapon. It's not like the best, again, because Torrid hits harder, hits more enemies, but this is default heat, and I can mod it pretty easily. And it kills enemies no problem. So, I mean, I can't really complain. I don't know how min-maxy people are looking for Warframe these days, but I've always just built for, like, I play the game, I shoot enemies. Oh, your bro is invincible. Where'd he go? I'm just trying to kill you, dude. There he goes. He's dead. Whew. What a goober. Yeah, you can turn on your Protea 4th augment. Oh yeah, that was the little Eximus unit. Yeah, so I'd say in regular Steel Path gameplay, it's gonna kill things no problem once you mod it up. It'll probably struggle once you do longer runs, sure, but I mean, meh. I think a lot of things struggle if you do longer runs like that. Oh, you actually got me? Damn. I don't know if I had enough Healy, shieldy balls down there. My bad. I goobered. I still got the Steel Essence, so he took me down as I took him down. It was kind of like a, we traded each other's lives. Joke's on Stalker, I have multiple lives because I'm a Tenno. I don't actually die, so... yeah, I do have Augur mods on my Protea. I could totally take them off if like the shield gating gets too annoying. Either way, that is the Atomos, everybody. Lover, hater. But it does the damage I always needed it to, so it's good. Dano Scoom! And then you can throw down your on-call crew. Oh, and look at that. They'll kill everything for you still. You can just blindly shoot at enemies pretty easily with the Atomos Incarnon, and you should be good to go. It's a nice thing about the beam weapons. You don't have to have insane aim. You just have to hit their headshots a little bit so you can get the Incarnon form. And the jump around will kill everything else, so you'll go through it no problem. But yeah, that's the Atomos Incarnon. This thing absolutely slaps. I love it. 10 out of 10. I would recommend it. Sub, like, check out all the socials. You can use Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you want to support the channel. But yeah, checking out, liking, and just interacting with any of the social medias always helps out. We have Jade Shadows update soon, and a lot of things coming, so I can't wait. Thank you, everybody. I have the second Pupsker Gotcha YouTube channel as well if anyone wants to check that out.